Hello, what is up? Welcome back to a video. Now today's video is going to be big. Now let me tell you why. It's because I got something expensive to review. These right here, these fine, beautiful, beautiful ear cuppy things are the Sony XM5s. Now I got these as an early birthday gift from my boyfriend, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, from me using them on the airplane to come back here, from how I use them at the gym. Now I don't use them for gaming. This is just going to be a general review of them. I'm trying to just push myself into the general tech space because I like it. That's all. So we're going to get right into it. Now again, these things are $400 basically. Now I did get them when they were on sale, so that helps. But look at how pretty they are. I mean, just look at them. They're really pretty and I have a lot of thoughts on them. So, starting off how they came. I'm also going to be putting stuff up on the screen, obviously. But, starting off with how they came. The box was dirty, so this is, hold on. This is the case that they get carried in, but it came in an actual box. The box was dirty, you know. I was actually kind of surprised, but I guess it was just to keep them safe, you know what I mean? I guess it's better than cardboard. But the box was very dirty. It's not like it was wrapped in any type of plastic, which I don't necessarily mind because plastic waste. But it was very dirty. It was very weird. I thought that was the actual case. I was a little bit confused. But when you take the label off, which is just a band over it, it ends up being... it was just a container. And so I took them out, and they're in this case. And they honestly look beautiful. And out of the box, they were charged, which was super cool. Now, I so far have not had an issue with battery life, but I'm going to get more into the battery life later. I have a little sticky note up on the other monitor of what I should talk about because I get lost in the thoughts too easy. I get off track so quickly. I could talk a 10-minute video, I could make an hour with how much talking I like to do, so I'm trying to keep it clean, cut, concise, to the point about these headphones. Because they're expensive, and if you're spending that type of money, you really want to know what you're getting, so I want to provide the most informative video I can on them because I understand that price is a killer, okay? So, overall, open box. Opening the box, they, you know, again, the box kind of scared me. It was a little bit dirty. I was like, this looks like it's been banged around. No, it's just kind of how they come, I guess. Not too big of a deal for me because you just throw that away. It's kind of just a plastic case. And then you have the actual case, this, in it. And so you take it out. Behold, you have these headphones. Very beautiful, very pretty. I would have done the open box here, but I got these while in Texas. I was staying with my boyfriend. He got them for me. Early birthday gift again. So I brought them back here. Plus, there's not really a good... it would have been the video wouldn't have looked good. Okay, also that. So a couple factors. Plus, I just wanted to start using them right away for the gym. And I will get into how they work at the gym as well in my use section, which is the third portion of the video. So we're currently in the talk about getting them section of the video, according to my sticky notes, which I've covered. How the box came. It was a little bit dirty, a little bit weird, kind of caught me off guard, but you just take the label off, open it, you're good to go. The case is in there, the headphones are in the case, then you have your paperwork. There's a piece of paper, it basically just tells you how to get the app and how to set it up. And again, downloading the app is super easy so that you can kind of control the ambient sound, the noise cancellation. It helps a lot with tuning the headphones, and there's a few more customization options that are really fine-tuned to you that I personally just didn't want to set up. So if you go to the app and kind of fiddle around with that, if you end up getting these, there are quite a few. I would just watch a video specifically on the app for the headphones because I use them, like I said, mainly just for the gym, and I'll use them for studying when the new semester comes up, but my semester hasn't started yet, so I hadn't have an opportunity to kind of go to a coffee shop or anything. Get more into that later. Overall, though, setup is super easy. They came charged, so I was able to kind of turn them on and test them out. I used them watching YouTube while I was over there, so I had a wireless headset to use because I was using my Samsung buds, and those, after like a few hours, kind of bother my ears. So, use them for YouTube, playing video games. Honestly, sound quality was fine. Didn't really have any issues, but that's not the main use I want to get out of them. But them coming fully charged, and, well, not fully charged. I think it was at like 60%, but I believe from 0 to full charge, it takes about 3.5 hours, they say. I haven't ran them down to 0 yet, so I cannot confirm nor deny, but the battery life on these things is pretty long. I normally go to the gym for about an hour at a time, and apparently they have about 30 hours battery life, 30 to 40, so I am a long ways away before I'm going to have to charge them again if all goes well. My sticky notes again, we've gone over how they came. That box kind of confused me a bit, but that's okay. The setup, super easy, turned them on, they go boop, and everything's good, and then you can download the app, and the app you can further kind of customize the ambient sound controls, noise cancellation, etc., etc. So let's talk about the quality. I feel like I'm going to break these things. I am terrified of breaking these things. Okay, I cannot stress enough how delicate they are. And look, like, just, they do this, right? I am so, and see, they have that little action, they can do that. It scares me. I feel like I'm going to break them. They're so expensive. You know, they go over your head. Just pulling them over my head scares me a little bit. Now, I've done it a few times now, so I guess I'm getting more comfortable with it, but it scares me a bit, man, because they're so expensive, and, you know, if you don't have a warranty, which I do, thankfully, but still. And then they have this feature where they fold like this.
Wait a minute!
No, they don't. I have them on backwards. Yeah, I have them on backwards. Hold on. Anyway, that's the way I wish they folded, by the way. They fold this way, which I hate that the ear cups fold upwards. I wish it was how when I had them on fucking backwards, where it's the hard part that's facing up. I don't know why, just personal preference. I guess if you want to play sound through them. Anyway, they do feel a little bit delicate. I'm very scared with them, especially with this, but I guess they're kind of designed to have that movement, so maybe as I have them for a while I'll get more comfortable with it. But it is one of those things where you spend a lot of money on something, you were terrified of doing anything wrong with it, so I kind of get that from them. And for the price, I wish they didn't feel so fragile, if that makes sense. You know, I don't like being so scared. You know, you have something and you don't want it to break, obviously, because it's expensive, but you don't want it to feel like it's easy to break also when it's expensive, if that makes sense. The quality, though, overall is nice. You can see when just like this, the ear cup doesn't look too thick, but if I turn them for you, and you can kind of take a look at the depth that it has pretty good depth. And I mean, I wore these on my flight, so I wore these on my flight back, and there was a bunch of kids crying on the flight too, so the noise cancellation was fantastic. But just the comfort, I've had no issues. And going to the gym, I've had no issues. So far, super good on that. But they do feel so delicate, and also, like, I'm surprised how comfortable they are, because look at the cushion. Just look at how thin the cushion is on the top, and then over here there's none. That's hard. And I know that your head doesn't necessarily touch right here, but still, if that makes sense, it kind of just bothers me. I don't know. I want to say when I open these, I was expecting a little bit more oomph for the price, but I'm not. I'm also don't want to say that I'm disappointed in them, because so far the sound quality and everything has been phenomenal. The sound quality, oh my goodness, has been amazing. I cannot diss the sound quality. I cannot diss the noise cancellation. Like I said, my flight back, there were a bunch of kids crying, which is whatever. I don't really pop in my earbuds. But these, since I was wearing them on the way back, the noise cancellation was a lot better on them. I could really barely hear any of that. I was able to tune it out. It kind of dampened all sound to the point where I could perfectly tune it out. It was great. I loved it. And they were comfortable, like I said, on the flight. And I had my head against a neck pillow, and they were not bothering me at all. So I was also very happy about that, because it would have been annoying if not. But overall, very, very comfortable. I was actually talking to my boyfriend while at the airport, because I kept changing my gate, and we waited like an hour past when we were supposed to board. So I was talking to him on these, and I was able to have perfect conversation with him with them on. Obviously, I wasn't like around like being annoying, like loud on the phone in the airport. But, you know, just waiting in line, I was, you know, having a regular conversation with him. I had them on, and I was able to hear him perfectly. It blocked out all the sound, and he was able to hear me fine, so the microphone quality, from my understanding, is also pretty decent. Probably better than my Samsung buds, but I didn't call him with one and then the other to compare, which I could do, but I didn't think of it, so I'm new at this, unfortunately. So we're on the talk about quality portion of my sticky note, and so I did mention, feels like I will break them, that's on the sticky note. Feels so delicate. I did go over that. They feel very, very delicate, and it scares me horribly. For the price, for the price, I wish it felt a little sturdier, if you know what I'm saying. I also, in regards to quality, would like to go over the case quality, because this is the case that they come in. This is the case that you carry them around in. Has a little slot for them. They fit in it perfectly, I would say. My only issue is that I just wish it had a little bit more. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fine with them. Like, it keeps them snug and safe. I just, you know, like it just feels a little, I just wish it had that heavier feel to it that you normally get when something's a little bit higher quality, and it doesn't, but it keeps them safe. I did drop them once in the kitchen in this, and they were fine, obviously, because it does put them in place. There's not really a lot of room for movement, so I guess I'm just complaining to complain. But if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. It just doesn't have that heavier, sturdier feel that you normally get when you spend the extra money on something, which I was hoping to get with this. So I think that's why when I kind of opened them, I felt that, this is it? Like, this is it? And that's exactly what I thought when I had opened them. And I don't want to seem ungrateful, and I don't want to seem like I don't think they're good, but there are certain aspects that for the price kind of irked me a bit, if you know what I'm saying. Now, this does also have this is magnetic, by the way. It carries the wires. So you have your charging wire, which is a USB-C, I believe. Yeah, that's USB-C. Default, it's like the Samsung charger nowadays. I actually don't use this one because I was plugging it into my phone charger because I fully charged them when I got home. And then it also comes with a little aux, so you can actually use it wired if you want to. The only way I see anyone doing that is if their laptop doesn't have Bluetooth or something. But the option is there if you prefer to be a wired girly, you know what I'm saying? So you are all girlies now, you're welcome. So I do like the magnet factor. I do think this is pretty cool. It's a pretty strong magnet. Okay. I was pushing it really hard at that point, so. But overall, the magnet's pretty sturdy. But again, just like I mentioned earlier, I didn't get that oomph when I opened it and I picked the headphones out of this, and I felt the quality. I felt like I was missing something here. I will say this is really annoying. Not that. This is really annoying to carry around. My earbuds, little case, I throw them in my backpack. This, I mean, it fits in my backpack, kind of, but it's a little inconvenient. And I don't want to just carry this around, because I feel like people will know, and I don't want to get fucking robbed or something. Like, I just feel... And this doesn't unclip or anything. So I need to put, like, a clip on this so I can maybe clip it to my bag, but then I would just be afraid someone would just unclip it from it, and then my fucking $400 earbuds are gone, or headphones are gone, so... Maybe that's just... Maybe I'm just complaining to complain, but those are things that, again, kind of bother me a little bit. But there's no way to really make a case for these smaller. So from the perspective that I am complaining, I 100% understand that they're really minimal options. Now, I am mentioning price and I am mentioning quality. There is something I think I'll put up on screen, which is comparing the XM5s, which are these, to the XM4s, and there's not a lot of differences. They score very similarly on a lot of things. The noise cancellation is similar, the sound quality is similar, talking to people is similar, you know, the microphone quality, the weight. Now, the XM4s have a stronger clamp strength, and I have an issue with headsets that clamp too strong. It gives me headaches. My neck is very weak, and so that being said, I haven't had an issue with these. Typically when I use headsets that have higher clamp strength, for example, I got a Steel Series headset. It was wireless. It was like top of the line at the time. I had to return it because the clamp strength was too hard, and after an hour of wearing them, I had a horrible headache. And I game for like hours at a time normally, so that was just not a thing. So it's unfortunate. So that is something I look for. If you've never had an issue with headphones that do that, you might not even have to care to look. But if any of you have an issue with that, the XM4s, I don't exactly remember. I'm going to put the thing on the screen, the comparison. But the clamp strength on the XM5s is a little bit softer. Now, not to say that these aren't as... These stick. These will stay on your head, but it's not going to give you that headache like you get from higher clamp strengths, if you do get them at all like I do. But overall, again, like the quality of the sound, the noise cancellation, phenomenal. But the way it came presented kind of was like, really? This? Like nothing more? And so that did kind of bum me out. But again, I am so impressed with these, and in regards to the money, I didn't spend it. It was my boyfriend, and I love him for that, and I love these, and I use these, and I get phenomenal use out of them. But when it comes to, do I feel bad? Do I feel like he wasted his money? Those little things when I was opening it kind of made me feel like, wow, did I really make him get these for me? Well, I didn't. It was for my birthday. But you know what I mean? So just, if you're paying out of pocket for these, I'm mentioning this so that you have that perspective in what I've been thinking about, because I hate spending money, so I am so nitpicky when something is, in my opinion, a little bit pricier, you know what I mean? Like, a little bit pricier than it should be, so just those points. Now we're going on to use, how I used them. Like I mentioned earlier, I used them in the airport, and they were phenomenal. That noise cancellation was really, really good. There were a bunch of kids crying on the plane, as kids do when their ears feel like they're going to explode and they don't understand, which is fine. And the noise cancellation on these helped tremendously. It was phenomenal. I was so comfortable wearing them for the 2-hour flight. I think it's about 2 hours, the flight from Texas. So they did a really good job with the noise cancellation, and that's mainly what people want them for, and also I use them at the gym. Now, I do want to say, the noise cancellation is great at the gym, especially if you have music playing. The sound quality of the music, you feel it go from like ear to ear, it's bouncing, it's going through. I have felt my workouts to have been better because the sound quality just feels so much more crisp. And I thought it was maybe just that one day I got back. I hadn't worked out for a month because I was in Texas, and I was so excited to be at the gym, my body was feeling it. But the workouts after that I've had at least 4, and I probably had more than that actually, but at least 4, and every single workout, every time I've gone to the gym since I got back, has just felt better. I've had so much more energy. I've been able to push myself a little bit more. I felt in my own bubble a little bit more because of how much it blocks out. I'm able to kind of just tune in, and I feel the music go through me more, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, I'm just resonating with them maybe, and I thought maybe it was just like that one, my first day back, exaggeration, but no. Having this the quality is just so much better. I feel like I'm just able to lock in a little bit more. It gives me a little bit more energy because it's going, like, it has that balance. It goes through you better, like the music. I don't know how else to describe it. I might sound crazy. That's fine. But if you know, you know. So in regards to that, yeah, I feel like my workouts have just been so much better, which sounds crazy. And so I did have one workout yesterday where I was on the I did treadmill for like 20 minutes, which I was able to get through that long. Oh my god. I normally just lift weights. I don't do cardio anymore, and I've been trying to start cardio again, so I was able to do treadmill for 20 minutes, running off and on, which is great for me, okay? So that's already a good sign with these, okay? But once I start, and then the other half of my workout, I said, I'm just going to lift some weights, do my upper body, because my fucking legs were killing me, because I had a crazy leg day the day before. So I'm doing upper body, and so I listen to a podcast, which I normally do when I'm not going for a PR and I'm just lifting weights. Just, if I'm not feeling it that day and I kind of want to, like, music's not really hitting it for me. And so that was kind of day. I listened to a podcast, and I'm still having a better workout than I normally would with my earbuds. So again, like, I don't know if I'm crazy, but what I did notice is that when I'm listening to a podcast where it's just people talking compared to, like, when I'm listening to music, I hear more of the ambient sound of the gym, like more weights, more of the background sound from the gym overall. So that was kind of annoying. It was still better than the noise cancellation on my Samsung buds, I will say that. But it doesn't knock it out completely if that's something you were kind of hoping it would do, which from all the hype, I thought it would do, so I felt a little dumb. So it doesn't fully knock out all the sound. Like, if you just strictly are wearing them to wear them for the noise cancellation, you will still have very faint ambient sounds. It does not completely eliminate all sound. But that being said, it still does a really good job dampening all the sound around you. But the way it does it is a little weird, and I had to do some research on it. So just a fun fact, the way that the noise cancellation works, they kind of normally pump some type of white noise through it, and it might make your head feel like it's going to explode for a little bit, because it kind of tricks your ears. And I had to Google it, because the first time, the day I got them and I started wearing them to listen to YouTube and stuff, my ears felt like they were going to blow up. And that's because of the sound, and I'm normally only used to it being through earbuds, and it's not as intense. So because this one is a little bit stronger, I had to kind of get used to it, so I Googled it, and apparently that does happen to people. The noise cancellation kind of causes your ears to, like, feel full almost. Full is a really good way to describe it. And for some people, it never goes away. For some people, it's one of those things where at first you notice it, but then once it's consistent, you're able to tune it out and you don't get that effect anymore, which happened to me. I don't have that issue anymore after wearing them for the first few days, but I was worried it wouldn't go away. So if you're having that issue, just try them for a few days and let your ears adjust to that strength and noise cancellation, because it's not something that your ears are used to. You know what I mean? It's still technically having some type of sound pumped in, if that makes sense. So that's what I ran into, and I'm hoping that it doesn't freak you out like it freaked me out, because I went straight to Google because I felt like my head was going to explode. But it was just my ears felt really full, and it was because of the intensity of the noise cancellation. And so what I actually did was turn the noise cancellation, the ambient sound deafening, to 1, so I didn't fully use the noise cancellation, and then once I kind of got used to that, I did full noise cancellation. So that was just something that helped me kind of slowly work my way into it. But again, I don't have that issue at all now. I just strictly use the noise cancellation, and I have no issues. In that regard, it kind of caught me off guard, so I just want to let you know. Now, form factor. I didn't actually go over form factor. Editing Jamie here. One thing that I did forget to mention is that both sides, of the ear cups, like on the headphones, have touch sensors, and you can double tap them and you can map on the app what you want the touch features to do. So for example, touching once to pause, double touching to maybe go to the next song or turn up volume. There's a few things that you can map it to, and I don't use it too much, so I completely forgot to mention in the video, but it is a feature that the headphones have, and it is a pretty convenient feature, and I think it's way more intuitive than how that worked on my earbuds. So I did want to mention it. I am so sorry that I forgot to when I was initially recording, though. Talked about quality. There are two buttons. There's going to be your power button on the left, the bottom left ear cup, and then you're going to have your button that actually controls your NC and ambient sound. So your noise cancellation and your ambient sound. NC for noise cancellation, AMB for ambient sound. I never actually read them, that's why I caught me off guard. There's also one little dot on the left ear cup that if you aren't looking and you can't see it, you can just feel with your thumb and know that this is the left side, which for you appears to be the right side because my camera. Let me see if I can get a zoom in on it. Yep, right there. Oh, it's still focusing on me. This camera is impressive. So right here, you have that little dot. You feel over it. It's, you know, an exaggerated divot, so you know it's the left side. And then you have your buttons. So you're going to have your, you can kind of see it. So that's the power button, and then you have your ambient and noise cancellation buttons. Both on the left side. The right side, that bottom port is the C. That's where you charge it. The left ear cup, that's the aux cord side. That's where you can use it wired. And again, like I showed earlier, it does the whole twisty twisters. Has that, can, you know, again, it feels just so, like I have to be very careful with it. And I don't necessarily like that feeling because I don't want to be so nervous with something that's so high quality. I feel like that's, you know, obviously you want to take care of things that are expensive, but you don't want to feel like you're going to break this shit, you know? So that's just one thing that kind of irks me a little bit, but in regards to the sound quality and the noise cancellation, they do pull up on exactly what they said they would do, so I guess it's, they kind of cancel each other out, a little bit of PEMDAS, you know what I'm saying? And let's see, we're on the use section of my notes cards. I've gone over being at the airport and the airplane, using that to block out some of the noise. Gym, music versus podcast, I went over that. They stay on very well. I didn't go over that. So I do some exercises that I'm moving around a lot, and the biggest gripe I had with my earbuds was that if I was doing mountain climbers, if I was whatever that had a lot of movement, the earbuds would slowly fall out. I'd have to stop in the middle of my set, put them back in. The stop and go would kind of kill my flow, if you know what I mean. So it was a little bit frustrating. Now I was worried with these that if I was doing something where I was bending over backwards or if I'm laying on a bench, they would slide off. I haven't had that issue. Even with the strength of the clamp not being as strong with the XM4s, which I never had, but I'm comparing them because the price difference is pretty significant. They stay on my head perfectly fine. I bend over backwards to stretch my back sometimes. They did not budge when I was on a bench. I did have to adjust it, so when I would lay back, I just have to put them a little bit like this, so that when I'm laying back, they don't fully slide, because if you're sweating and stuff, your hair gets a little slick. So I just would put them like this when I'd lay down on the bench, and then when I'd come back up, I'd just do this again. I haven't had an issue at all. I haven't fell off. They've stayed in place. They've stayed perfectly over my ears. The cup position, perfect. So I genuinely, like, look at how... Like, I have not had an issue so far. So, like, with everything that I have complained about, I have so many good things and things that have provided convenience that I did want from them. So, you know, there's those pros and cons, and I'm pretty sure right now the pros and cons are kind of even. I have the website pulled up, what they say about the battery, so I have it correct, and a few little tidbits about the specs in regards to this, just to add them to the video. So first, the battery charge method. It's USB, but it's a USB-C. Battery charge time takes approximately 3.5 hours. Sorry, for 30 hours with noise cancellation on, and a max of 40 hours if you have noise cancellation off. And that's in regards to continuous music / playback time. Now, battery life does change if you're using it for continuous communication time, which is essentially if you're just like talking on the phone, using the microphone and the sound at the same time, something like that. You'll get 24 hours with noise cancellation on and a max of 32 hours with noise cancellation off. So if you're using them how I'm personally going to be using them, which is at the gym, and again, so I will be using them also for studying, and since my semester doesn't start for another 2 weeks, I can't really use an example of that quite yet, but I do think they'll perform really well in a coffee shop or, you know, Panera type setting where I want the noise cancellation, I'm watching a YouTube video while I study or maybe listening to music. something like that, taking notes. I think they'll perform very well in that environment as well, so I'm not too worried about it. I think the gym is a pretty good measurement on their quality and the performance I get out of them, as I use the same functions when studying. Come here. Come here. He likes biting my headset wire. He's new to being inside. I love you. Well, he's been inside for a few months now, and he does a really good job. He gets along with everyone. He likes the AC, but he also thinks every single wire is a toy. So I have to hide them from him. But then he'll sit here with me while I game, and then randomly decide when he wants to attack my headset wire. So, but he's a good boy. His name is Bailey. He's very big. So yeah, I went over the battery. We did everything. I put on all my sticky notes. So overall, my final thoughts. So I guess we're going to get into my final thoughts, which are, I think they're beautiful. I got them in the white color. I think the white looks really, really clean. I will say that when I am done at the gym, the ear cups are sweaty, and so I wipe them off, but I have no idea how to properly keep them, like, because I don't want them to deteriorate over time, you know what I mean? So I clean them off after I use them at the gym, because I don't want to leave sweat just kind of to marinate on the ear cups, if you know what I mean. So I do try and take good care of them, but again, them being so delicate does scare me a little bit. And in regards to the price, that is a gripe I personally have, but when you also compare it to the quality, just the sound quality, the noise cancellation quality, the quality of the comfort when they are on my head, which is impressive considering I was a little bit scared because of the thickness, or lack of thickness I should say, on the top part, the band and whatnot. So I am very impressed. Overall, I am impressed with the actual headset itself. There's just some details about it that because of the price, I think I was expecting a little bit more. I made my own hopes too high, and therefore when it did get to finally having them, I had that, oh, disappointment almost kind of moment. But again, I really don't want to say I'm disappointed because I am thoroughly impressed with them. So that is kind of something I'm going back and forth with. I love the quality. If they feel really secure when they're on my head, I don't worry about them falling off when I'm moving around. So overall, they do exactly what I want them to do, and they do a very good job at it. So I am happy, and overall, I do like them. And if I had to rate them out of 10, I'd easily give them maybe a 7, maybe an 8. And I think it's because I had my hopes too high in regards to noise cancellation, being able to hear nothing. You can still hear a little bit of something, but if that's where technology is right now, this is a leading technology for noise cancellation in these headphones. So if you can still hear a little bit, then my expectations are currently unobtainable. You know what I mean? And so I can't really diss them for that, but I am dissing them because I feel like for the price point, there are some little aspects here and there that could have had a little bit more oomph to them. I'm taking off a point because I don't like the fact that I feel like I can break them so easily for the price point. I feel like that shouldn't be as much of a concern as the form factor makes it. And just the price. I just think that in price general makes it 1 point less, because I feel like when you're looking at overall quality, obviously if you can throw as much money at something as possible, it's going to be perfect, but I want it to be well-rounded, and I think price is a part of being well-rounded. From what I've heard, at least from websites that do the comparisons side by side, the difference is not that significant. It's what you think visually is nice, and I went into a Best Buy and I felt the XM4s and I felt the XM5s. The XM4s have a little bit more bend to them. They fold a little bit more, so they are slightly more compact, not a lot, but a little bit. So if that's something that maybe sounds more appealing to you, I would definitely go with those, or I would at least look at them as an option. Again, go into a Best Buy, a place that you can compare both of them side by side in regards to feeling, in regards to quality, in regards to the sound testers that they have, and make that decision for yourself, because it is, for the average individual right now, a pretty big hit financially. If you're someone who has to put money aside each pay period, it's probably going to take you all to save up to be able to get these. So you want to be making sure that you get one that you're not going to feel like you're at a loss of money, and that you actually are happy with the product that you got. So, again, 7 out of 10 from me, but in a good way. It's a good 7, you know what I mean? Maybe an 8. A good 8. 7.5, 7.8. 7.8 is my out of 10. Yep, 7.8 out of 10. That is my official and final rating for the Sony XM5s, is a 7.8 out of 10. And with that being said, you know, I hope you have lovely, do lovely, be lovely, and I'll see you next time.